Okay, I think we can get started. Again, as I mentioned, my name is Hugh Peterson. I am the product manager for our PIPSpro software. And our PIPSpro software is a TG142 machine QA solution that has a number of different components to it, which I'll kind of run through today. It's also part of our it's one half, I should say, of our QA Fusion package. The QA Fusion package, I'm not sure if any of you were in for our part one last week for our QA pilot component, which is our cloud-based QA database, which allows to schedule and keep track of and set up your own test regimens for TG142 and TG51 and other functions within the medical physics component of machine QA and LINAC testing. But anyway, today I just want to kind of give you a brief overview. I'm not going to go too in depth in it. If you want a more in-depth demo, we can certainly arrange that, and that can be arranged through one of our regional representatives that you can find on our website for your region, both domestic in the United States, but also internationally as well. So with that being said, I'm going to move on and let's see if I can get my PowerPoint moving. It always takes a few seconds to go for whatever reason. There we go. So, but as I mentioned, QA Fusion, that is our integrated QA management software in two parts. It's our PIPSpro software for the actual testing, and then our QA pilot, which basically is our QA database management software. It's cloud-based and it's a subscription-based system, as you will, if you will, where it's an annual billing for the system, and you'll automatically get all upgrades and updates and things like that. Excuse me, pushed through to you, so you'll always be up to date with that as well. But just a little bit about standard imaging, why we do what we do. We know cancer affects everybody, family, coworkers, friends, in so many different ways. And we really are proud to be a leading manufacturer and test equipment company to make sure that the treatments that your friends, family, coworkers, and patients are getting the best quality that they can to treat this terrible disease. And we want to, be your partner in precision. So keep us in mind when considering anything from our software to our ion chambers, to our electrometers, our water phantoms, stereotactic phantoms, etc. We have a whole host of products. Today's webinar will be recorded. Just a bit of housekeeping here. You can enter your questions in the dialog box for the questions, and I'll address them at the end. And quick history lesson for standard imaging as well. We're based in Middleton, Wisconsin, which is just outside of Madison. We've got a very good relationship with the University of Wisconsin Calibration Lab there. We were founded in 1989, so we've just celebrated our 30th anniversary last year. Everybody kind of wants a do-over for this year, but we're plugging along with our 31st year in 2020. And as I mentioned, we design a full suite of QA products for radiation therapy, software, electrometers, ion chambers, phantoms, etc. So it's a full suite of QA products. So please, we just revamped and put up a brand new website for has a much easier navigation and more information. So please, I invite you to check that out as well at standardimaging.com. But let's move along. Basically, I want to jump into what PIPSpro is. It's a software package that allows you to automate the analysis of over 30 TG142 recommended QA tasks, including your MV and KV imagers, your cone beam CT imaging, MLC QA tests, both image-based and log file-based, and I'll touch on those as well. We have an automated Winston-Lutz stereotactic test for machine QA. Automated radiation light field coincidence test. We have star shot analysis. And we also have an IGRT component, which I'll touch on as well. So the nice thing about PIPSpro is, it's scalable. It gives you the ability to set it up for large enterprise systems, or even just single one LINAC single facilities. And we have what we call a system manager, which allows you to set up what we call a division, and that division can be some overarching group, say, here in the States, like 21st Century Oncology or Genesis Care, as it is now. Then departments, individual departments. So your St. Mary's, your specific cancer center as a department. The different users you can set up as well, and those can be set up with different security levels too, depending on how much information you want to be able to adjust or change within the system, or if you just want to have users who can input test results, things like that. So there's some different security levels that way. LINACs, self-explanatory, where you put your LINAC information in for the specific LINACs of your facility. The thresholds, which I'll touch on in a second. Phantoms as well. We've got a couple of different phantoms, 3 different phantoms for PIPSpro. Some of the tests are phantomless, but our phantoms are calibrated at the factory, and you get those calibration function numbers included with the phantom that can be input into the software as well. Like I mentioned, easy department and user setup can be set up on a Citrix server for the enterprise-wide systems, and that way everything is available to one another within the system. The data can be compared from site to site, things like that. So with that Citrix server support, it gives you the ability to set up the enterprise-wide component of the software. To centralize data access, again, for the enterprise-wide results and trending, so you can kind of, like I mentioned, track and see what is going on, and comparing site to site what your results are. And there's also set baselines within the system, which gives you what we call quick selects, which allow you to go directly to and quickly select specific tests within a system. So the Linux and threshold, as I mentioned, individual LINAC data is separate for ease of use and reporting. The thresholds are set at TG142 tolerances out of the box or upon installation, but those are adjustable, and you can tweak those to your liking for your specific tests. So if you want to loosen or tighten some of those tolerances and constraints, you can certainly do that within the software as well. And fairly new to PIPSpro is our QA results dashboard. It's a quick look to see when your last analyzed date of the test were, as well as your results. So you can see not only when they were, what tests were done, but also the results in your stoplight type visualization: green for pass, yellow for caution, and red for a failure. Also shaped for image or vision impaired, like colorblind. We keep those at different shapes as well for being able to kind of track and be able to visualize those easier. We have, as I mentioned, automatically calculated results for our planar imaging, both MV and KV. Our phantoms on the lower left, you can see the KV phantom. Next to that is the MV phantom. Very similar. You have your line pairs. You've got your different density checks and the like for those phantoms. And then the results page is on the right. Automatically calculates the F30, F40, F50 resolutions as suggested by the manufacturer, either Varian or Elekta. Also does a uniformity test, a noise test, and a contrast to noise test. Also color-coded results, so you'll see they're all listed in green. If there was a caution, that category would be yellow, or a failure would show up in red. There's also the resolution MTF curve for the different F30, F40, F50 resolutions. The cone beam CT tests, automated test results utilizing the CAT fan phantom, which is provided by either Varian or Electa, depending on the cone beam unit that's involved, either 503 Phantom or the 504 Phantom. Also, we do the 600 series Phantoms for cone beam if you want to do diagnostic tests as well. But similarly, we've got test results for uniformity and noise, Hounsfield unit constancy, geometric distortion, slice thickness, low contrast visibility and detectability as well. And basically, very easily, what it does, it goes in as you bring in your phantom set, your image set from the CAT fan. The software will localize on what we call a key slice, and that gives you the ability to know where, or the software the ability to know where every other slice and target set is within the phantom. And you get a QA results overview like you see here in the color-coded results as well. And you can go ahead and when that pops up on the results page in the software, you can click on any of those. It will bring up your image phantom specifically, as well as more detailed information on that specific test. So, very easy. Bring in your set. Automatically, will detect that key slice. Automatically, then we'll run the calculation and the analysis on the phantom images and give you those automatic results. Everything can be then saved within the system to go back to and bring up those results again. Also for reporting, there's full reporting in the software as well. We've got, as I mentioned, a couple of different types of MLC tests. We've got the log file based tests for a travel speed, a leaf speed loss, and the nice thing about this is it's an actual leaf speed loss. It's not an average over the field. It actually tracks and gives results for every leaf within the system. And the nice thing about that is, as you can see here, here's a results page on the lower right, or on the right, I should say, it's showing you the individual leaves and the results. And you can see here the outer leaves tend to be more problematic just because they don't move as much. They may have some stickiness to them because of lubricant or just not being used. So those tend to be more problematic, and you get individual looks at those leaves as well. And you can see here the inner leaves, you get a much better agreement and passing where those leaves are used more normally and more frequently than your outer leaves. And then this component here is just showing you your 10 worst culprits of failure. And obviously, like we've said, for these, you'll see that they're probably the outer leaves in most situations, and you can kind of see that they certainly are, both for the left bank and the right bank. But we do the travel leaf speed, which is the true leaf speed, not an average. We do a segmental IMRT step and shoot. We also do moving window. And then we also have a reproducibility or repeatability test as well. There are set leaf patterns within the system that you can use, or you can actually use a clinical leaf pattern as well to test those. The MLC tests, which are the image-based ones. We have a multi-port or a picket fence test. The image of that you can see on the left side of the slide. We have a leaf position accuracy, which tests basically the set leaf position, where that leaf should be, and if it actually is in that position. And then we also have a leaf transmission test, which gives you both inner leaf leakage and inner bank leakage for the software. All again automatically calculated, and results are popped up once you select your test. The radiation light field coincidence, this one actually uses what we call an FC2 phantom, which is part of the package, and it allows you to do either a 10 by 10 or a 15 by 15 radiation light field test, centimeters. And basically there are numerous fiducials within the phantom, and right here on this particular test image, they're honing in on the 15 by 15 centimeter radiation light field test. It finds those ball markers within the phantom, localizes on those, runs the calculation as it knows where those excuse me, those test points should be. Gives you an indication of the light field indicated in a red line around the outside. And then, excuse me again, I'm getting a little frog in my throat. If you look at the image closely, I'm not sure if you can see it on your screen, but there's also a green border line, and that notes the radiation field edge. And then you can see here on the results page, again, that comes up automatically, gives you the radiation light field displacement, and then there's also a light field crosshair displacement, and that's what this center fiducial is. You line up your phantom there to the center crosshair on the field lights for the test, and then the phantom will give you a displacement of the actual beam center for that particular test. Starshot analysis, EPID or film, depending on the test. We do gantry, collimator, and couch. It's a one-click analysis. So basically all you need to do is click on the center of the starshot. The software will localize the absolute center. You don't need to, just close to the center is a fine selection. The software will then calculate the actual center and then give you your results. It'll find those rays of the starshot. And then as you see on the right results page, according to TG142, it actually will find the smallest diameter circle that incorporates or involves all the rays of the starshot. So in this case here, it's a passing selection, very small. Minimum diameter is only 0.2 millimeters, so it's a very, very good result on this particular test. And that's the starshot analysis again for gantry, collimator, and couch. The stereotactic module, what we call the automated Winston-Lutz test, you can do either MLC or cone-based QA. It calculates automatically the optimal 3D shifts to move that ball phantom into the isocenter position and get your placement of the isocenter correctly. Can be utilized with most any Winston-Lutz phantoms, either one that's included with your package, or we do your Linac package, I should say, or we do offer a couple different types. We have a cube phantom. We also have our pointer phantom, which you can see here, which has a 4 millimeter metallic sphere in the end for localization. But basically, the test gives you a green. You can see the green border on the image. That's the radiation edge detected by the software. The green cross is the radiation center compared to that green radiation field, and then the yellow cross is the found ball center. So basically, what it does, it will automatically give you your variation here in the cross-plane and in-plane direction. And then also we'll calculate those 3D optimal shifts in X, Y, and Z. So you have a easy test result. You bring in those 8 images, different gantry and couch angles, and the calculation will run automatically and give you those results. And then lastly, we have an IGRT module, which is basically just kind of a database storehouse of your daily deviations for 2D 2D your 2D MV imagers, and then your 3D cone beam CT. So it's a very quick and easy trendable review of how things are setting up from day to day with something like our Mimi Phantom. When the Mimi Phantom gives you the 2D matching, 3D matching, and shift accuracies, things like that. There's more information about the Mimi Phantom on our website if you're interested. So now I'm just going to kind of show you the interface, kind of run through a couple of quick tests just to kind of give you an idea of what the interface for PIPSpro looks like. So let me jump out of here and jump into PIPSpro itself. So as I mentioned, as you open up PIPSpro, you can see the last dashboard showing you what those last tests were and those results. Also shows what machine you're active with right now. Another thing, as I mentioned, with the new version, we have what we call the QA pilot portal. This is the second component to our QA Fusion. And this QA portal allows you to import your results and your data right into our cloud-based database system, QA Pilot. But I can close and we hide the dashboard. You can either close it here or just click the hide dashboard, hide dashboard or show dashboard. This is our splash screen for the software. Our system manager, as I'd mentioned, you can bring that up, and this is where you set up your divisions, which are your master group, if you will, your specific departments. Here I've got Maple Hospital set up. Users, this is where you can set up your different users and who and how they have access to the system, either an administrator or just a basic user, or what we call a super user, which has access to everything. So we have that functionality set up there. Our Linux, so you can set up your specific Linux here, and it will show up in this this tree here, Maple Hospital. This is our TrueBeam. Thresholds, again, as I mentioned, they are set in, for TG142, but they are adjustable, so you can tweak those and adjust those, tighten those, or loosen those tolerances as you see fit. And then, as I mentioned, our phantoms, we have specific region of interest numbers for our specific phantoms, and it gives you the different frequencies calibrated here at the factory. So each individual phantom has individual results. But as I mentioned, going to the different machines, here I've got Maple Hospital showing my TrueBeam. Always shows the active machine up in the menu bar here too. So right now my active machine is that Maple Hospital TrueBeam. I'm going to go to my applications. I have my Imager QA. Let me just kind of show you quick how it works. You can choose your quick select. Here you have your QC3, which is your MV imager, your QCKV, which is your KV imager, your CBCT, your CAT fan for Varian. Let me just pop that one up and just kind of show you. I can load up an image set here. That's my Varian 504. Grab that image set, open it up, bring it in. As you can see, it automatically brings in the image set. It's detecting the, looking for that key slice and detecting that here. Now you can see that, let me go back to the image real quick. You can see that key slice showing. It locks into these pins within the phantom. Once it does that, it will run the results, and you get your test results in a quick summary here. But then you can also jump in if you want to look at my uniformity and noise. It'll bring up that specific uniformity slice, and you can see here it chooses 5 different points within the phantom for uniformity. You get your mean data for your different points. You get your sigma result. You get your vertical and horizontal for your non-uniformities. Another test, I can go back over here. If I want to maybe take a look at my Hounsfield constancy, I'll select that. That'll bring up a different slice showing you your different density materials within this phantom. There are 8 different ones. There's air, there's PMP, polystyrene, acrylic, Delrin, Teflon, etc. Has the expected Hounsfield units for those specific materials, and then the measured within the software. So in these, you can see they're all close enough to be passing. So that's just kind of an idea of what you'll see with the cone beam test. And let me I'll show you maybe the STEREOTACTIC module here, as I mentioned. Again, you load in your STEREOTACTIC. A nice thing too is that once you go to a specific directory, in this case my demo image STEREOTACTIC, it has a memory, so it'll always go back to where those images are stored. So you can always, you don't have to go hunting through the directory list of your drive or your network to find those images. It always remembers where these are. So in this case, I have my STEREOTACTIC and my SRS autoload. So I select those, bring those in, and as I mentioned, the green line being the radiation detected radiation edge, the green cross being the radiation center, the yellow cross being the calculated ball center, and then giving you those your deviations for your in-plane and your cross-plane, as denoted here down in this little scale image. And then automatically, once those are calculated, it will automatically calculate those optimal shifts in the X, Y, and Z direction to get that marker centered within the field. So that's just a couple of tests showing you. Like I said, I just wanted to kind of give you an overview today and maybe a couple of examples of the software. If you do want a kind of a more in-depth demo of the software, kind of showing you all the tests, things like that, please feel free to contact your regional representative, whom you can find on our website, and or sales@standardimaging.com, and that'll be directed to the correct person. But let me just jump back to the PowerPoint. So just a couple more points on our what we call the QA Fusion component. You can directly upload from your dashboard the PIPSpro test results to our QA Pilot QA management software. So that brings in those data information as you see here, your test results. So you have easy visualization and full reporting within the QA Pilot. Here's an individual test result. So as I go back, you can see kind of an overall view here of the different cone beam test results. Here you can go into an individual test result. And as I mentioned, easy and complete. I have a misspelling there. Complete, not compete. I'll have to fix that. My report upload to QA Pilot, give those test results push from PIPSpro right into QA Pilot. You can customize your selection of test reporting within QA Pilot as well. And then you can also set up custom tests within QA Pilot also. So just a quick overview. Actually, it says available soon, but it has been released just about a week and a half ago, our PIPSpro 5.7.1. We have that direct upload now to our QA Pilot, as I had mentioned multiple times. We have enhanced cat fan marker detection. So when the software is looking for that key slice, it's an improved algorithm to find that key slice. It used to be where the Phantom had to be positioned very, very specifically. Now it's got a little more leeway to be able to find that key slice and give you those test results. And then we also have enhanced some Electa Versa integrity, the TRF file analyzation in the leaf speed module. We've kind of fixed that a little bit, made it a little more complete as well. So our PIPSpro advantages, as I mentioned, everything is quantifiable. It's not a qualitative test, and everything gives you repeatable results. PIPSpro makes it easier for your center to become compliant with TG 142 for those accreditations and inspection audits, things like that. It's a centralized database which is scalable to your specific needs, anywhere from, like I said, a single LINAC small facility to a full division of a number of centers being tested. The results dashboard gives you a single view of the most recent results and a date when those tests were done. Again, quantifiable results for every test with precision phantoms that are included either with the system itself or that you already have on hand, such as the cat fan. It's got a very intuitive user interface for each component, very easy to use. Those baselines and quick selects make things very quick and easy for doing your testing. It's a very smart software. Locates any fiducials or field edges within the system and within the imaging components of the software, giving you less mouse clicks and more automation. And as I mentioned, there's over 30 TG142 tests in one package that are automatically uploaded to QA Pilot for your QA Fusion, should you look into that. But as I mentioned, keep an eye on our webinar schedule. You can find those on our website. If you did not get to see the the QA pilot component last week in our webinar. There are recorded webinars on the website, and both for PIPSpro, you'll also for attending this, or even if you had signed up, you'll get these the latest link to this presentation, and you can also find past presentations on the website as well. And please, we have a new, brand new website up and running as of the end of November. We fired that off for Estro, which started just after Thanksgiving here in the States, that weekend after, so the end of November. So it's a very new and fresh website to check out. Have a number of links within there, including publications regarding PIPSpro software. And like I mentioned too, one last point, this was just kind of a quick overview of the tests. If you want a more in-depth demo and an overview of the software, please feel free to contact your Standard Imaging representative at sales@standardimaging.com. And that's kind of all I have. Let me just check real quick to see if we have any questions. Does not look like there are any. I'll hang on for a couple of minutes just to see if there are any questions that come up. Otherwise, please feel free to, again, contact sales@Standard Imaging with any questions that might come up from yourself or any colleagues you might share the link of the presentation with. And if they watch it and have questions, they can certainly contact sales@standardimaging.com. And that can be either directed to be answered by your regional rep or directed to me for some of the technical questions that might pop up. Otherwise, thank you very much for your time. I hope you all stay healthy and safe out there. Like I said, 2020 has been a challenge for everybody, and hopefully we can adapt as we move into the new year. I wish everybody a happy holidays, and again, please don't hesitate to contact if you have any questions. Thanks very much. I appreciate your time.